but we need to start talking about platforms. Now, we've seen a lot of players. We've seen Twitch, for example, going under fire these days and most likely finally getting some repercussions due to some despicable elements such as Hassan Piker Boy. Well, we'll see how that one goes in Congress. Then there is the omnipresent swampland that is Reddit. Yet we've got some new players. So, when I was on my account on X, you should absolutely follow because I am on fire, uncensored, unleashed on that platform. Link in the description and pinned comment. I created this. It's a poll and it says, what's more toxic, BlueSky or Reddit? I mean, 5,097 votes and going. We've got 4 hours left. But I think at this point, I am confident enough to say that after 19 hours, yeah, BlueSky is the winner. Now, do you agree? Do you disagree with this poll? Absolutely let me know in the comments below. But one thing is for sure, regardless of what your position is to this, perhaps you're going to say, no, Reddit is worse because it has greater reach, because they've been doing it for longer. All of that is great. But it is a fact that BlueSky has gone full mask off during this event. That place, BlueSky, is a playable demo, beta testing of what the circles of hell are going to be like. Here is BlueSky Social. Social media as it should be. Oh my gosh. Man, you really need to change that. You really need to. That is the worst self-descriptive motto I've ever seen. Believe it or not, I have an account. Yeah, I haven't been very active on it. You can imagine why. In fact, I should be active on it. I should try to counter all of the nonsense. And I did make one post. This one here. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Whoever celebrates his death is a monster. Rest in peace, brother in Christ. 34 comments. Oh, we're going to go through them. We're going to go through that. I want to see if I summoned any demons. Man, this is more effective than trying to use a spell casting in Latin. Seriously. What's really ironic about all this, which really tells you about projection, lack of self-awareness, complete and utter political indoctrination, is the fact that BlueSky became relevant after years of complete and utter insignificance. The reason why it became relevant is because X was bought by Elon Musk. And while Twitter used to ban you if you were mean to this can, and it was very heavily into censorship. Not equal censorship, by the way, just censorship towards those people that don't agree with their own politics and ideas. Just to be clear. Nexus mods, anyone? After Elon Musk purchased X, one of the things that have changed is that now there is almost no censorship anymore. You can say almost whatever you want, and while it is true that you can't exactly say whatever you want, we are definitely closer to a platform that allows free speech. Now, given the one side effect to free speech is that speech that is protected isn't only nice and pleasant speech. Thus, a lot of posts have become rather toxic on the platform. Now, do I think it's an improvement? Absolutely. Twitter was nonsense. However, there are a lot of people that were particularly offended, and so they moved and stormed into BlueSky, because one of the things that BlueSky was promising is that it would be how Twitter used to be. I mean, they even have almost the same hue. It's a butterfly again, not a bird. If you find that a downgrade or an upgrade, as the Latins say, de gustibus non disputandum est. And I remember it like it was yesterday. All of those people saying, no, oh, this is really nice. Finally, we don't have to deal with all the toxicity you have to deal with and all the racism and bigotry and white supremacy and disgusting behavior and political nonsense that you have to deal with on X. No, this is nice. Finally, a place where it's all nice about hobbies. You learn about pasta. You don't have to listen to anything you don't like. That's perfect. And then Charlie Kirk died. And this, because I tell it how it is, you know me, this became this. I'll admit it. I personally don't spend much time on Reddit. In fact, I know I'm profusely hated all the way down to the depth of the bowels of that ungodly forsaken place. An achievement for which they should give me a medal, which I will pin on the wall of the Silver City of Heaven after I'm dead. However, even in my few sporadic adventures and journeys through Reddit, I haven't seen the kind of horrible, disgusting debauchery that I've witnessed here in the last few days. The number of people that celebrated Charlie Kirk's death, that called him a Nazi, that called him a bigot, that said that he deserved it, that said that the children should be next, that said that every single person who dares to agree with him should be next. They're laughing and giggling and playing around and joking with the death and the drawings, making fun. That's BlueSky. Isn't it insane to think that political indoctrination is so powerful that they will make you think that hell is paradise? And then again, I don't know how many people are going to actually come out and say it, but I will. A big chunk of those who migrated from X to BlueSky were the same type of scum that killed Charlie Kirk. They didn't leave X because they don't like toxicity. They left because they only wanted to hear their own, because they're immune to their own venom, but they are hurt when it's another species. We don't want to have anything to do with your ilk. BlueSky has been trying to at least ban some of the most extreme, and that's great. They should do that. They should absolutely do that. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what they promised, right? We will ban all of that bigotry and toxicity, all of that social regression. Well, what's more regressive than thinking it's okay to off someone because of their opinions? I've seen Charlie Kirk being accused of being such a regressive individual. His views were medieval, they say. It is ironic that the views of the people that say that are from the fucking Mesolithic. Seems like BlueSky has been going on the offensive. Have they really done enough? I don't know, but at this point, even though I'm someone who does not support censorship, but that's what they promised. This is what makes their platform different from X. Otherwise, you might as well say whatever you want to say on X. So I don't particularly care that a private platform decides to enforce their terms of service, or that those terms of service may be a bit too restrictive for my personal taste. It doesn't matter. It's their own private personal choice, and I can choose not to use the platform and just use X. No, the thing that really gets to me is the hypocrisy. The fact that the very people that were condemning toxicity are now bathed in liquid poison. It goes to show, once again, that the very people that speak about tolerance are the most intolerant of all. Because the reality is this: they want diversity in every single aspect of human life, except for thought. In all fairness, before my online enemies will, as always, twist my words, I'm not saying every single user on BlueSky has been celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. I'm not even saying that the majority of users, I would have to have hard data, but considering the numbers, I mean, I really hope that's not the case, but I don't think that it would be likely. It is still a huge number, however. This is not a matter of hating hate speech. It's a matter of tribalism. Whatever I say is justified, even if it's the most horrendous thing, because the other side is ad insult. It's really that simple. All right, let's read these tweets. What did they say? Hit me. How dare I defend? Let's see. Decent people? We've got 34 guys. What do you think? What do we think? Maybe 30 are decent and 4 are horrible? Maybe no one is horrible. You know, maybe I got some really good people, or maybe I will be accused of being a Nazi. Let's go. I'm curious. All right. I won't celebrate his death, just point out the irony of his viewpoint. I think it's worth to have a cost. Unfortunately, some guy always bringing up that one. Yeah, I'll cover it. Charlie Kirk. Right, next. Which the Second Amendment is not a God-given right, by the way. Great, they're arguing about fantastic. So I'm saying rest in peace, and that's what they're doing. They're arguing fantastic. Definitely an Old Testament kind of guy, really. I'm pretty sure God won't let him in heaven. Ooh, there you go. Well, I can't really say it as a Christian. It's not up to me who goes to heaven and who doesn't. But you're definitely not looking good, my friend, if that's what you do. And apparently he wasn't Christian. The lies, the lies. So Charlie Kirk, who was ready to die for his faith and did die for what he believed in, and some of the things he did believe in was absolutely Christianity, apparently wasn't a Christian. Great. Next, I think the best way to honor Charlie Kirk would be to release the Epstein files. It's what he would have wanted. What does that have to do with saying, can you? Fine. Absolutely. I agree. But could you put before this, yeah, he really didn't deserve to die like that. What a shame. Next. We'll find one, guys. Charlie Kirk says gun death. Okay, the same concept. Fantastic. Not even a single modicum of decency. Next. Yeah, whatever. Thoughts and prayers. That's another nice one. There you go. Next. I don't celebrate his death. I'm not mourning it either. Hateful thoughts led to hateful words, which then led to hateful actions. Sounds like a justification for murder. He was a hate monger. To celebrate his legacy is revisionist history. He claimed to love America but had hate and disgust for half the population, which is objectively false, and I'm debunking it. So far, we're not doing so good, guys. This thing that, no, it's not, I don't know, guys. I haven't found one to say, yeah, it sucks that had to happen to him. Poor family. Not even one. Next. Wouldn't it have been a blessing to have rid the world of Hitler, oh my gosh, of Benito Mussolini, when they were young, rather than waiting for the horrors they... Yeah, sounds like BlueSky sucks. Yep, they all disgusting. J.D. Elliott, you are disgusting. You're a disgusting... Dad, retired career diplomat, poor children, because that's the problem. He's going to indoctrinate his kids to hate everyone who disagrees with me is Hitler. Congratulations. Very nice. Very profound. Next. This is someone who believed the dead children were simply a cost of existing in country. Why mourn when this is literally what he believed in? Apart from the fact that I will cover every single one of his posts and his ideas. Regardless, you can still mourn the loss of a human being. And most importantly, if you don't want to mourn him, how about a word for his children? Since you seem to care about children, what about his? What about his little girl? Democrats didn't kill Charlie Kirk. A highly trained man with a gun did. One shot, 2 football fields away, whatever, who still hasn't been caught. The same gun culture Kirk worshipped, the same blah, blah, blah. Stop blaming Democrats for violence. Where did I blame? Apart from the fact it's obviously a left-wing radical, so yes, I'm doing that. But I'm not, first and foremost, I'm not blaming every single Democrat. I'd like to underline. I am someone who does make a difference between extremists and people who are decent. And you know how you can separate the decent from the disgusting? You just have to be humane. You just have to say, I'm so sorry that this happened to him. Yeah, it's terrible that this happened to him. He didn't deserve to go out like that. I didn't agree with him, but it's terrible. It's not difficult and it takes 3 seconds. No, they don't do it. But regardless, I didn't do it on this post. I didn't do it on this post. Do the right thing. What's this one? Sir, the shooter is a Trump supporter. Oh, so they're one of the liars. Great. That's been debunked already. It's unbelievable, the level of gaslighting. And these are the level of gaslighting and lies. We know he wasn't. The shirt was fake. It was photoshopped. You absolute little clown. Next, thoughts and prayers. I care about the kids who are massacred in schools who Charlie did not care about, which is false. It's not true. I care about the girls who are R-word, who Charlie Kirk did not care about. Oh, I know which one you're saying. That's twisted and a lie. Man was a liar. I think you are a liar. A racist and a sexist. At this point, the worst of America mourns him. See? Next. I haven't found one decent guy on BlueSky on my little post. Then I heard a voice from heaven say, write this, blessed are the dead who die in the Lord from now on. Yes, says the Spirit. They will rest from their labor, for their deeds will follow them. Book of Revelations. I got the quote correct. Okay, nice. Maybe we found one. Yeah, one. Next. I felt bad for his kids. Oh, okay. For a moment. Oh, never mind. Be that as it may. Why did you stop feeling bad for his kid? Like, look at the connection. Look at the connection. Fine. You don't like him because of this? It's totally fine and valid. But why stop feeling bad for his kids? Do his kids have any say in whatever opinion the man had? No, unless you are one of those who say, it's good that children die in red states because they were going to grow up to be bigots, which is what I had to block hundreds of people on my channel for. I guess those are nice, right? Yeah, I guess Hitler had some people who were sad when he died. Same thing. Man, this is going really badly, guys. His adult working life was a complete waste of time. Fantastic. But are we allowed to be happy that he's not spreading his hate-filled bigotry to the masses anymore? You hellspawn are the one who is spreading hatred and bigotry at this point to the masses. It's you. It's the people that don't care about a man being assassinated in front of his children. Innocent children. And wife. You. I think it's absolutely horrible that he was killed, but We shouldn't pretend that he was spreading a message of love thy neighbor. He's no martyr. Well, I beg to differ. I think he was a martyr, and people like you made him one. Regardless, whatever he may have said, the one person on this social media platform that is definitely not into love thy neighbor is you. Oh no, I guess I'm a monster, yet the very person who said I'm worthless just because I don't have babies is a saint. What about Melissa Hortman? Oh, it's whataboutism. I imagine there is a lot of whataboutism. You know, to this, you know what you need to say? To someone says, you talk about this as a tragedy, and then they tell you, but what about this other tragedy? You know what you need to say? Just write it down here. What about all the children starving in Africa? Why didn't you say about that? Now, you talk about Melissa, what about the children in Africa? Because it's always like this. It's always when you say something, then they are like, what about this one? But then when they say something, I can do the same. What about this other thing you didn't say that is horrible? Not celebrating or mourning. I suppose this is the best we're gonna get, guys. Which tells you a lot. Go playing with fire, likely get burned. Just saying. It's another monster. I'm a monster, but he isn't a brother in Christ. That's not up to you. If he accepted Christ, he is, and there is nothing you can do about it. Problem is, when you will face your judgment, you shall be judged by the same measure you have judged. And do remember, since you're bringing up my religion, that the scariest verse in the entirety of the Bible is the one where Jesus says, "To them I shall say, I never knew you." Well, while America allowed the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, sadly there will be murders carried out by gun. Okay, the solution to changing the Constitution, which Charlie did not agree to. Does that make it? Here's the thing, though. Do keep in mind, I'm not arguing for his politics. I'm just saying rest in peace, brother in Christ. And look, they argue the politics because they have no decency. He wasn't a Christian, okay? For he spoke too much hate. Yeah, you're a Christian, I imagine, right? Negativity, you have to be positive and tolerant, say the people who will not care for his children. This is the things I do for you, noble ones. Was there anything this guy ever said or did that showed he followed the teaching of Jesus? This is the type of person who would have Jesus arrested, flogged, and executed. No, I think he would have fell to his knees in front of his Lord and Master. Incorrect. Yes, arrested for slave labor. I don't know what he's saying. He got exactly what he wanted. It's hilarious. Yeah, it's so funny, guys, that someone gets murdered in front of his family. It's hilarious. Blue sky. Red hell. I don't think Christ shared Charlie's views. I'm pretty convinced that Christ believed in his own resurrection. Yeah. Whoever does not condemn a genocide too, okay? You know, you can't just call everyone you disagree with a fascist. That's correct. Oh, but it's a Nazi who's saying it. Of course. Absolute idiots. Oh my gosh. He was a piece of shit, but he was a piece of shit. He didn't deserve what he got. Again, guys, isn't it terrible that we got to a point where this is the most humane thing I've read into this thread? Christ did not speak in the language of hate. Yeah, which is yours. Kirk certainly was not a brother in Christ. It was a shit-eating corrupter in young minds. Ooh, don't even get me started on the young minds. He was a hater, bigot. Okay. I don't celebrate his death, but fuck him. Well, then you are celebrating his death. You are. At least own it and be a man. Be a fucking man. Stand the ground like he did and say what you actually believe, you coward. Supernatural beings do not exist. Oh, we've got the edgy atheist here. And he was whatever, he got what he deserved. Call me a monster all you want. I will never be a bigot. At this point, bigot would be a huge improvement for you. Who brags about it so I don't have to worry about getting shot in the neck. Man, the answer I have in mind that I cannot utter. Alright guys, so here we are. I think I'm going to continue this. I'm going to bait them. I'm going to continue and make content over it. It's enough toxicity. That's Blue Sky, ladies and gentlemen. That's Blue Sky. Thank you for watching.